One of the things that takes up so much of a recruiter's time is checking responses every single day from candidates and figuring out whether they're interested or not, whether they have a question, and then going through all of those replies and answering the same question over and over and over again for the same job. For example, what's the salary? Where is the company based? How many days in office, etc. Another thing is figuring out whether they are qualified or not based on their LinkedIn by doing a quick scan. In this video, I'm going to show you how, as a recruiter, you can use a basic clay table for free and some AI to quickly filter out and figure out who is qualified and not qualified of all your candidate responses, as well as what is the intent of their response, so you can quickly filter to who is qualified and who is interested or not qualified and has a question, and basically make your workflow so much faster. So in this table, what we have is a list of responses from people via an email tool. You can use this for any kind of tool that you want. Even if you just have the data, it's fine. You can import the data via CSV into a clay table, which I'll show you, and then you can use AI to figure out whether they're qualified or not. So let's take an example. In this case, this person said, "Hey Harrison, thanks for reaching out. If you could send me the name of the company, I'll take a look and see if it's a good fit." And then we basically went and figured out, are they qualified or not? Again, we can look at another one and say, "Thank you for reaching out. I'm very interested in learning more about this opportunity. I have experience, blah, blah, blah." So in this case, the AI said, okay, they looked at this person and they determined whether they're qualified, and they also determined whether they are interested or not. And you can see that we run this for certain campaigns. For other campaigns, you might not run it. You can set up all these conditions. But the important concept to understand is how to use these AI columns within Clay or within any tool where you can apply AI to do the background processing work for you. So for example, let's go into this one. This is called a Claygent, which is basically like an AI web researcher. And what this is going to do, it's going to take a candidate's LinkedIn, it's going to go to that person's profile URL, scan through their page, and then determine based on the job requirements, is this person qualified or not? Now, I will say you do want to double check these sometimes, because sometimes it might miss it, especially when there's a lack of data. The AI is only going to be good as the data that you give it. But this is a really good first pass to help you figure out roughly who's going to be qualified or not. So for example, you are a professional recruiter. Your task is to evaluate a specific candidate for a role by reviewing their LinkedIn profile and job description, etc. So what you would do to set this up within Clay is you would go to tools and you can just search Claygent. And you can see here it says Claygent AI Web Researcher. And now you can define the input that you need. So you could say you are a recruiter, or like a professional screener, or whatever it is, and when you click generate, it'll help you generate this so that it's correct. And then basically to pass in the information, you can hit this button, the slash, and then you can pass in the LinkedIn URL of the individual. You don't need to know how to code, you don't need to do anything else. Once you pass in this information, this web researcher is going to go to that person's profile, it's going to click on it and say, okay, let's take a look at this person. Are they qualified for the job, yes or no? So we've got our friend Max here. And okay, he was a software engineer, and so I would say this person is likely going to be disqualified because he's too job hoppy. You can see 3 months, 3 months, 4 months. This is a good stint, but a lot of hiring managers don't want something which is so short, although these are internships. Then you can see what the AI says, so we're not going to save this. And what does this say? Not qualified, and let's see why it says not qualified. It's not qualified primarily due to a strict job hopping disqualifier, having 3 consecutive roles in 12 months. Now, as an example, this is why I'm saying you want to check this, because in this case, those were internships. So then you can go back to the prompt and say, okay, well, if it's an internship, then don't worry about the job hoppiness. But the concept that I want to help recruiters understand is that you don't need to spend all morning triaging responses and figuring out who is qualified or not. You can use Clay to go and visit someone's profile and qualify them for you. And if you have just one job that you want to get this started with, literally take even just LinkedIn URLs that you have existing, that you currently have, dump them into a Clay table. Super simple. Just create a new Clay table and import them and create this column, and then just feed in the job description directly into the prompt and say, this is the job description, qualify all these people. And that's how you can do this as a once-off. Say you have 300 applicants from LinkedIn and you want to figure out just off the bat who is definitely not going to be a fit because they don't have enough years of experience. This is a really easy way that you can do that. Put everyone into a Clay table and then figure out whether they're qualified. Another thing that you can do, again with AI, is to figure out the intent of someone's question. So Are they interested? Are they not interested? Do they have a question? And then again, you can pass in the job description and have it automatically generate a response for you so that you don't spend the entire day answering the same question about salary and whatever it is. So just to show you from the top of for example, like how you would do this, create a free Clay account and go into it and then create a new table. And then in that table, you can call it whatever you want. For this case, we're going to say test AI example. And what you can do then is just insert your data. So you can do this for any kind of data where you need to make a basic decision. Company resumes, LinkedIn's, anything where you need AI to go over and say, is this person a fit or not? Once you've done that, you would then come into here and you would say import, and you'd say import from CSV. That's going to give you all your different data across all these different columns. Think of it like Excel. Clay seems confusing and intimidating. It's basically just Excel with a whole bunch of connectors on either side. Once you have your data in it, it's then going to look something, like this with all the information in it. And then what you're going to do is say add new column, add enrichment, or you can just go straight and say use AI. This is not the AI web research. So that's important to understand. This is just going to basically use like a large language model within Clay. If you want to use the web researcher, then what you want to do is say use enrichment and say Claygent and click on AI web researcher. And now this is going to basically allow you to select the web researcher, and this will give you the access to go to someone's LinkedIn, to a company's website, to whatever it is that you need to qualify to make your life easier. So then once you've selected that, you can now choose the different kind of model that you want to use, especially if you have AI keys. If you have API keys for OpenAI or Anthropic and you want to save some cash, I would definitely recommend importing your own API key, and it's super simple to do that. And then basically you can just do that. You can make an HTTP call and use AI, but in this case, we want to keep it simple. Let's say you want to use Argon, and then you tell it, hey, go to this person's LinkedIn and qualify them. And then when this will run, basically you say save, and this will run for all of the different rows that you import there. And this will give you a first sweep of everyone and tell you whether they're qualified or not. You can also apply the AI column to messages, and you can figure out whether someone is interested or not, or they have a question.